All right, we're talking about the birds and the bees, so if you are a parent, you'll want to stay tuned to this. We've got sex educator Saleema Noon on the show because, boy, it's all over the place in the media. Saleema, thank you so much for joining us today. Referring more to the article out of the UK about the 13-year-old boy and the 15-year-old girl who, hello, having a baby, they're just babies themselves.
It's so young. It really is young, and it has a lot of parents wondering, okay, when do I need to start talking to my kids? How can I prepare my kids? How can I inform them and educate them? And what the heck do I say?
Yeah, well, you know what, and when I posted that you were coming on to my Facebook, I had so many people, viewers out there, and my sister and my brother going, oh gosh, we're coming up to that ourselves.
Yeah.
So at what age should we be talking about it?
It really, Dawn, it starts at day one. Using technical terminology for body parts. Even young children, before they get to elementary school, need to have a general understanding of how reproduction happens, what sex is. And the great thing about teaching young children is that they're so matter-of-fact about it. I can explain reproduction to a group of kindergartners, and they look at me like I'm talking about bicycle safety. It really is not a big deal. But the key is for parents to open up the doors of communication around the topic early so that their kids will want to talk to them later on. So a lot of it is just setting the stage, opening the communication to benefit later on, and that way parents can establish themselves as their child's #1 source of sexual health information.
And it's important that you say that because I think, we were talking to Riaz, and he said his parents never even talked to him. A lot of times we're hearing it at school, hopefully from a sex educator such as yourself, but more often than not from fellow students. Now, you said talk to them early, so how early is that?
So starting, using technical terminology from day one, and then as they move into elementary school, so the primary years, they need to have an understanding of their private parts and the idea of ownership of one's body. They say who goes on them and who does not. They need to know generally how reproduction happens and what sex is, that the baby grows in the uterus, not the tummy. They need to know not to pick up used condoms and needles as a safety issue.
So times have changed.
Really, unfortunately, even in the best neighborhoods, kids are finding these items. So it's all about safety and preparing them for the future. But when kids get into grade 4 and 5, that is a perfect opportunity for parents to start talking about the responsibilities that come with a sexual relationship. And we don't want kids to think that, oh, sex is this awful thing that could ruin your life or give you a disease. I mean, it's true that you could get a life-threatening sexually transmitted infection, but when kids are 9 or 10, they need to start understanding that while sex in most circumstances is a wonderful way that people reproduce and show their love and affection for one another, it comes with a lot of responsibilities, and so it's a better idea to wait till you're older when you're better able to face those responsibilities.
Okay, so for the parents that are out there that have the youngest age kids, walk me through the conversation that could happen as early as today. How do we do that?
Well, the idea is to be very matter-of-fact about the information. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Don't be afraid to laugh. There are great books out there, and I've got a list of these books on my website if parents are interested, that you can get from the library or the bookstore and use to start the discussion. But what I find really helpful in the classroom when I'm teaching young children is to approach the subject as body science. So I tell the kids, you are old enough now to be body scientists, and I'm going to teach you scientific information about the body and teach you scientific words that doctors use. And they love that idea. And then we talk about the general private parts on the human body, how no one's allowed to go on their private parts without their permission, and what would you do if someone tried to go on your body in a way that you knew was inappropriate. So we start out there. And then we talk about how the baby, with the different openings on a male and female body. And then I ask them, does anyone know how babies are made? And as you can imagine, it's quite entertaining to hear what they've heard. And then I just come right out and say it. Although there are lots of other ways adults can become parents if they want to, usually what happens when a man and a woman want to make a baby is the man puts his penis inside the woman's vagina to deliver the sperm cells to the egg cell.
Well, for more details, of course, people can go to your website. We don't want to give away all the goods to everybody out there that isn't quite ready to have that discussion yet, but obviously earlier the better to keep the lines of communication open.
To benefit later on. And when your kids are older, just know that you trust them to make good decisions.
Thank you so much, Saleema.
No
and of course,
problem.
we'll have more information on our website.